Good morning. Stephen and Yana Benoon here with Israeli News Live. And it may not, well, it's still morning. It's almost 11 o'clock. And of course, today is October the 8th, 2024. Another S&J chat. And this time, Middle East affairs tied to a cult.
Unfortunately.
All right. Well, you go right ahead, girl.
Can you
I'm
make sure
listening.
people can hear?
Oh, I know they can hear you.
Okay.
Don't you even worry. They are definitely tuned in, and I'm going to double make sure that...
it's always hard when we are live because you never know.
Yep, and I know.
Just
Believe
don't
me,
want to
I
waste
know.
my
It
time.
shows that, well, it's saying we're going live in 43 seconds, but you know how YouTube is. They're a little bit afraid in the beginning, and so I don't want to... It's not showing as of yet, but I also know how that works. If I start... shutting things down now, right? See, we're streaming already. We're recording already.
Okay.
So yeah, we should be definitely live, and it's already shown the doohickey thingy there. So I'm not going to mess with this thing here. Let me just check. I'll click on the actual video. Let's just see. Let's see what happens here. Because
maybe they don't want you to tie the Middle East affairs to a cult.
They may not, because as what's really funny.
They're so successful on both sides of the wings.
Yeah.
It's just going so well for what the end result is going to be, that anybody uncovering it.
Well, let's look at it this way here. We're recording.
Okay.
If for some reason YouTube doesn't let it go live, then what we will do is we'll upload it. We won't say how they'll see it, but they know how they get to see it, and they'll see it regardless. So let's just go with it.
All right. Okay. So here we go. That just happened on the memorial of October 7th, and we have Trump going to grave of Schneerson, and most of people who watched our shows 3 years ago know who Schneerson is. Lubavitcher.
Yes, the head Lubavitcher. They call him the Rebbe.
Chabad Rebbe.
Yeah, when you're the Rebbe, you're the head cheese, the big kahuna.
And the funny thing is here that Chabad is a cult. And it's not really Jewish, but they took identity of the Jews.
Yes.
And you will prove it at the end because,
yes.
It's a Zionist radical cult. So to see politicians being surrounded by that cult is debilitating. And whoever is watching this and not really understanding what is going on,
right?
It's beyond my understanding for those people, because this is not just a regular courtesy to the Jewish people, okay? This is going to a grave of a dead rabbi who promoted Noahide laws for the Gentiles, and Noahide laws are re-signed every single year in all 50 states now. We have a moment of silence as a law in many states, and it's going to be more and more states signing on to that too, because it's very important, because they want to once the whole situation in the United States changes due to some tragedy or whatever they're planning, they want to get the Noahide laws through the education. They want to slip it in through education, educating new generation of children for the Noahide laws, because that's their vision. Their vision is that Jerusalem will rise as a capital of international law. Okay, they already work on Sanhedrin.
Yes.
They're going to have a Sanhedrin there. They are already having it. It's just not yet fully working, but it will.
Right.
They're preparing everything, for it to happen. So that's why they speak against the UN. And a lot of people are against the United Nations because the United Nations does wrong things and so on. But don't forget, it's just a game. All of it is just a game. So, yes, those just want the UN to go away. But for what? What's the reason for UN to go away? To move it to
Sanhedrin.
To move it to Sanhedrin, to give Sanhedrin the power to decide international law and how people behave. First, they want to take care of Israel. They want a greater Israel, okay? And after they have their land, and they want capital Jerusalem, which Trump already helped them declare Jerusalem as a capital. And next thing they will want, it's going to keep progressing. The events are going to keep progressing to a point where UN is taken away.
Yes.
People will think it's a good thing, but then all the power will go to lawmakers in Jerusalem who want to make sure that all the nations are signed up on the Noahide laws. And nations who want will be eradicated. And that's actually what rabbis are saying very freely.
Right.
We have showed it on our last show, Steve. We were showing people how that rabbi was teaching that when Messiah comes, which this is a messianic cult, okay, they want their Messiah, political Messiah. When Messiah comes, all the nations who does not sign up on Noahide laws will be simply eradicated. They won't exist. They won't be able to exist. They're going to withhold all the funding from those nations. So they have it all prepared. So why is Trump not with Watchtower called by the pyramid where Russell is buried at? Why is he not with Mormons? Okay, he's with evangelicals. Know this. Okay, Paula White is his pastor, right? So he's with evangelicals who promote the Jews and who are telling you not to preach gospel to Jews, but learn from them. That's Paula White. And now he's with these Jews. They call themselves Jews, okay, because they infiltrated the Judaism. Even I'm not saying Judaism is good. I'm just saying, for me, it's not the faith I have. But what I'm saying is they infiltrated even Judaic faith. Chabad did.
Yes.
They call themselves Jews. And Trump goes to those false Jews, okay? And he goes to the dead rabbi's grave to pray and put his prayer on his grave. You will see it.
Yeah, you're going to see it, right.
In Christianity, he claims to be Christian, but in Christianity, we can't go and pray to dead people like that. That's against our Christian faith.
Right.
So what is he doing? And why are evangelicals not seeing it? Why are Christians not seeing it? So there is something going on in here, right?
Well, let me just bring up a couple of points real quick from what you said here. You're going to see here at the end of the broadcast 20,000 rabbis in one meeting here in the United States protesting against Zionism. Mm-hmm. Now, that's the real Judaism. Right. That's the real Jewish people. And you're going to hear from them. You're going to see them as they're speaking at a convention, all wearing the full black garb, just like a Chabad rabbi does as well, but totally against it. And you're going to hear what they got to say. Secondly, you mentioned Trump's pastor, Paula White, right? Mm-hmm. And he follows her. Yes. And Paula White says, you've got to learn from the Jews. So Paula's putting you under the Jews. And Jesus said, the blind lead the blind, and he already said the Pharisees were blind. Nehemiah Gordon says that you can't be an Orthodox rabbi unless you can prove your lineage to the Pharisees. And so Jesus said, if the blind, the Pharisees, modern day rabbis, lead the blind, and we know that John in Revelation says under the Laodicean age there that they were naked and blind, and that's the church. That's one faction of the church that's totally blind, which is Zionist leaders like Paula White are blind, and the blind are leading her. They're all going to fall in the pit. So that's right where you're headed if you keep going in this direction.
And just to talk about Schneerson, the grave that Trump is putting a prayer to, right? And he's considered Messiah for a lot of these Chabad people. Now, even they're divided now to two groups, right? But a lot of them feel like he's invisible here with us. He is the Messiah. And that's why they even go to his grave and pray like they will get special favors if they go.
Yes.
Right? You know that Trump's daughter Ivanka in 2016 elections, she went with her husband, who is a Chabadnik, right? They went to this dead rabbi's grave. And then when there was attempting life on Trump, they went again and prayed for Trump. And now Trump ended up being right there on that grave again. So they're praying to someone that Chabad organization think is a Messiah.
Yes.
So this is so anti-Christian as it can get, Steve. And it does not I don't understand why Zionist Christians of this country cannot see this. And I understand that we only have two choices, right, in elections. That's why I don't vote, because neither of them are something I want, or I see in both of them evil. So, but it just really bothers me how those Christians who vote for him, okay, cannot see what is happening here.
And he has converted to Judaism, but he likes to play both sides of the fence. He pretends to be a Christian for the sake of the Christian voters out there,
Right,
that are pro-Israel, and at the same time secretly Jewish, because he's afraid that if he came in as Jewish, he would never make it as president. In fact, he was called the first Jewish president. So...
are they like orating on him now?
Yeah, if you want to get to where he's at, you have to go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I want to go. Yeah, I want to see what he's doing. And let's not forget while we are watching this that Netanyahu, right, met with Rebbe. Netanyahu met with Rebbe.
Yes.
When Rebbe was alive. And
yes,
Rebbe was
more than one occasion.
Right, and Rebbe Schneerson was prophesying over Netanyahu, he's going to lead the way to the Messiah. So they are following here some sort of a script. So this is why this is so disturbing to see Trump among these people, and he's giving that $1 donation in there that Schneerson always did.
And you know, you can't help but wonder, could Jesus have actually foreseen, well, we know he foresees things without a doubt,
Yeah.
but could this be the event that he foresaw? That he saw that the Rebbe, Schneerson, being the blind Pharisee there, leads Trump as the masquerading Christian there, which leads, of course, all of Christendom into this trap.
And not to
There's
mention...
so many ways it could be looked at.
Yeah, and the Lubavitch, right, Schneerson, spoke about Gentiles in such a derogatory way.
Oh, yeah.
And it was all translated to English by the Jewish chemistry professor, Israel Shahak. And he, because the Schneerson liked to write things in Hebrew, and they were not really translated for an English-speaking world, but then he translated his works, and just revelation how he was speaking about Gentile nations. He's the one who resurrected this Noahide movement.
Right.
And this is one of the mitzvahs of Chabad organization, is to spread Noahide laws all over the world. And first they want to take care of Israel, so any kind of Gentiles living in Israel who decide to live in Israel will have to live there under those Noahide laws. They have to be declared what is it called? Just Gentiles,
yes.
righteous
Gentiles.
Right. And Ger Toshav, I think that's what it's called. And then they want it all over the world by moving headquarters to Jerusalem, with Sanhedrin deciding on many things over the nations. So this is going to be a very bad scenario for the world.
Yeah, there were many Republicans like Nikki Haley and others.
Michelle Bachmann.
Michelle Bachmann as
I mean,
well.
the other day we watched a prayer in Knesset where Michelle Bachmann was with
Yeah.
Glick.
Yeah.
And they were studying the Bible, Old Testament. Michelle Bachmann was studying Old Testament with Glick in Knesset.
There's
I
your
sent
blind
it to you.
leading
Maybe
the blind
maybe
again,
next time we
right?
can.
Yes.
This is awful. If anybody votes right now for either side, it's a deception of major kind. Until we stop this and understand that change starts with us.
Yeah.
And with Christ inside of us, and we have power to stop this if we didn't participate. Look what he's doing. He's like
Tearing the prayer up.
tearing the prayer and then putting it on that grave. And they actually believe that there is a power of that dead rabbi to answer prayer. This is not prayer to Christ or Father of Jesus. This is a prayer to a dead rabbi. What kind of, what is he participating in? And why are Christians voting?
And people that are supposed to be such well-respected pillars in the community, and they all come and do this.
I know. And it's absolutely, it's just mind-boggling to me. Anyway, do you want to show the rabbis that had convention who are not Chabad rabbis? Not that we agree with Judaism, because Judaism rejects Jesus Christ, but those are, I would say, blind Jews that maybe a remnant of them could see.
Let me just show you how large this group is. There are 20,000 Orthodox Jews there. Majority of these, as you can see, are all in the traditional black garb. They are Orthodox rabbis. The speaker is way down here in the front on the bottom right there. And then, of course, you'll still see the ones in behind him here. But they're speaking here at this event. I want to take you to the 5:40 minute roughly mark here. And let's listen to like 1 minute of this, Yana. This is very, very telling.
So again, to make it clear, they're talking against what Chabad organization is doing, which there's like ultra-Zionists.
Any Zionist Jews, they are letting you know what their stance is on this. And I have respect for Judaism that believes like this.
And I will tell you, so we make it clear, as far as respect. We respect Judaism as one of the many religions, okay?
Exactly.
So as Americans, we believe in a freedom of religion because we want to have our own freedom to worship the way we see we should worship, right?
Yes.
So as long as you don't cross a red line, you're a fellow American, and me as a Christian, if you're Muslim, if you are Jewish in that, like we're going to watch them now, and you stay within your own faith, and we can debate.
You're not trying to change the world's laws to suit your religion. Just like Christians, we don't want Muslim law, Sharia law, to be the law of the land of the United States, and everybody's very vocal about it. Well, it's no different than what Chabad is doing with the 7 Noahide laws. It is a Sharia law.
Right. Once you see, if I saw Watchtower organization elders around president, I would be freaking out. And they are considered a pseudo-Christian group who believe in Jesus, right? I would be freaking out that Watchtower organization is around our president, and I would say, what is this? You know? So if Mormons were doing it, I would be freaking out. If evangelical Christians were doing it, I still wouldn't like it, because you still, within Christian organization, you have so many denominations and so many doctrines that we disagree in. I don't want just one denomination controlling our government and forcing certain doctrines on all Americans. So I like United States the way it is, where I have a freedom of my own faith expression, freedom of research, freedom of growing in faith, and sharing my faith in freedom. And that's the way we want to stay. So that's as far as respect for these Jews go, not that we agree, because we consider them very blind.
Right. And we have seen way too much about how that politics plays a role in everything in life, including injustice as well.
Yes.
States. We have no national language, and there is no army of the Jews. What they created is a statehood, but it doesn't possess any aspect of Jewishness or Judaism in any form or matter.
That's powerful.
The truth is that the state of Israel has as much to do with Judaism and Jewish identity as China or Korea does. They should stop calling themselves Israel and stop calling themselves a Jewish state, because those are lies. They can call themselves, if they want, Herzlstan, the nation state of the Herzlstanis. Or they can call themselves the Canaanim if they want. They can call themselves whatever they want, but they are not Israel, and they are not the state of the Jews. For over 100 years,
Daddy, can you stop? This is so powerful, Steve. This is like eye-opening. And I can almost guarantee you 99% of Christians in America don't know about that.
No.
So when Paula White and all these evangelical pastors like Pastor Paul Bagley and all of them, right? And my heart bleeds after these people, actually, because I truly loved Hedy and Paul. So when I speak about them, it's not because I hate them, it's because I love them. And I wish their eyes came open.
Right.
And they came to truth, right? But
recognize what real Jewish people really believe.
yeah, and the thing is, my question to them is, knowing that this type of Jews exist and looking what number and how they're speaking about state of Israel, and they're claiming it's actually against Judaism itself. The whole state of Israel is against Judaism. It's a cult, okay, that created this, and Rothschild by Balfour Declaration. And it's against their interpretation of their own sacred works like Talmud. They will mention Talmud here, which we disagree with very much. As long as they don't push it on me, they can study it in their synagogue. But I will tell you this. So Paula White, my question, which Jews are we to study with? These Jews that you are watching now, or the Chabad Jews only?
Well,
Who are the
in
Jews
reality, according to what Jesus said, you're not to study from any of them.
No, I know that, but
Right?
do you understand?
But
like if
they-
I study under them, that group that you just show,
you would
there's-
know that the state of Israel is wrong.
but yeah, and they're saying state of Israel is against Judaism itself, and it's false and artificial, and it's not real.
Right.
So
And the problem is, because we've had the Schofield, Cyrus Schofield,
Yeah.
John Darby, which I find that
It's
so
cult.
fascinating, right? Cyrus Schofield, so much like the ancient Cyrus, right? Trying to almost like mimic him, right? Because Cyrus helping the decree of Artaxerxes to move forward to build the temple, and then we get the Cyrus Schofield to change biblical prophecy and make you believe it in such a way that you would support the building of a third temple, right? And then John Darby, right? John Darby, right? Gets the name like John the Baptist, like this is a wonderful thing. And you don't see these little subliminal hidden anomalies that are laying there that are certainly telling you that something's wrong. You ought to hear more what he says here. Just
okay,
a few
let's
seconds
listen.
here. It's
Sorry,
amazing.
it's just powerful.
For over 100 years, this assault on our identity has raged, and the Zionists have used many ways and means to repeal and replace Judaism. But the strongest weapon throughout the years that they've used was indoctrination, propaganda. And the strongest tool of propaganda is their army. The Israeli army is not merely a military organization. Israel set up its military to be an indoctrination camp for Zionist ideology. It's designed to be an educational institution, not merely to teach its recruits how to shoot, but to teach them how to be Zionists. Not merely to show their soldiers how to serve the Zionist country, but how to serve the Zionist gods. Israel's army is a church of Zionism.
These are powerful words.
You know, when he
got to
says
make
a
this
church,
fire.
you have to understand, for Jews, the church represents paganism. Now, we know that the true body of Christ is
Yeah, the
not
true church,
paganistic, right? But the way he's saying it and the way he's bringing it out is fascinating. Listen a little bit more, though.
I mean, these are
Gurion called the
powerful
Zionist army a melting pot. He said it was designed to, quote, clean, refine, and purify the Jews of their, quote, foreign garbage. It sounds more like a rehab than an army to me, and indeed is a rehab. But what
So what are Zionists going to
But
do
what
with
Israel's
these
army wants to rehabilitate us from, we would give our lives to keep. The IDF officer's training manual was found to include lectures on the following topics. 1, what is Judaism? 2, is Judaism a religion, a way of life, or a constitution of a nation? 3, what is the identity of the Jewish people? What business does the military have to teach about religion? Imagine if the Belgian army, for example, were to teach its soldiers about Christianity or Islam, and tell them what your priests taught you about Christianity, what your imams taught you about Islam is all wrong. We in the army know what Christianity is. Who in the world would ever tolerate such a thing in an army? Every day they're beating up Jews. They come with their clenched fists and twisted faces, with their batons, on horseback and on foot. And they beat Jews and they hurt Jews.
That's
you know
true.
what? You could beat us, you could hurt us, you could put us in jail. Then you're dealing with Hashem. Domam loini kesi
All right, can you stop? Can you go to the Twitter, my Twitter?
Isn't that powerful?
It is. Now, you see, they even talk about against Christianity, which we know, we already said that these Jews are blind, but that's the sin they have, that they're blind, but at least they're telling the truth about the state of Israel being illegal.
Yes.
And what the IDF army is. If you go on my Twitter, and he said that they're beating them. I think the other day I posted on my Twitter, if you look for Yana Sutova, my name, maiden name. Yes, that's it.
I think I know that girl.
Yes, hold on.
Definitely subscribe. Yana's always putting out amazing information.
No, just sharing, my stuff when I have time. But yeah, definitely follow me there. But I want to look at what I posted the other day, how they're beating those Jews, their own, the Zionists are beating them.
Oh, yes.
With batons, and I'm not kidding you.
Yeah, especially, there you go, right there. They're down there beating up Orthodox Jews again, right?
Oh my goodness, when was that? I post so much. So while I am doing this, please go ahead and subscribe to my Twitter. Oh, here I was showing Greater Israel. Here's our article. No, I can't find it, Steve. What happened to it?
There's so many, though. I get so many of them on mine where they're beating up.
They're beating these Jews.
See, that one that you just passed there with that one Orthodox rabbi there, most people only see him.
Yes.
They only see him out protesting and standing for Palestinians. They don't realize that, like you saw in this group here, 20,000 of them are against the state of Israel.
And I can't find it now. I'm so sorry that I waste time like this. Miko Pellet, by the way, there is so much. Oh, here it is. Look at this. They make it big. Go to the beginning. Those are those Jews that you just listened to in Israel. And look what they're doing, beating them with batons like animals. Look at this. Because they are protesting against the state of Israel.
Yeah.
What they're doing to Palestinians. Look at this. Police beating up the rabbis. And I can guarantee you Christians who love Israel don't know this.
No.
So let me ask you, who is anti-Semite here?
It's even like in the live broadcast I did last night. I stumbled across while I was doing the live broadcast. He's an American, but he's an Israeli former IDF soldier coming out and speaking about October the 7th and how it was an inside job. There's so much that you guys
what
just
the
don't
mainstream
know.
media narrative is always wrong, and we have now our own experience with mainstream media, which we are going to talk about to great detail when it comes to what happened to my father and our family, Steve and me. And I will expose this actually, but mainstream media, the events that are happening in Israel, the October 7 and all of this, that's all wrong and skewed. I mean, listen to news like us and listen to journalists like Gideon Levy, David Sheen. Those are the type of people you need to follow for Middle East, what's really happening.
Wait until you see the book I'm writing. Then you will see what Jews are going to give their life for what the truth of the gospel really is.
Yeah, because many of them are truly speaking up, Steve. Yeah. So let me show you a few more things before we end here. But okay, so we went through this. This is journalist David Sheen. Subscribe to his YouTube. He's not like posting every day or every week, but he works very hard, and whatever he puts together, he will put out on YouTube. And I think he has a Twitter as well that I would follow. Extremely well researched and good information. Like in this one here, for example, he's talking, and I want to show you how is it all connected, how Chabad runs everything. You know, the whole Jewish side of things is actually Chabad organization, Steve. That's why I'm saying it's cult. It's not really Judaism, it's cult. So let's listen to him. He's talking about Meir Kahane, and I hope that my listeners know who Meir Kahane was. I described him in my article that's on our website when I was doing open letter to Christian leaders, when Israel set up its right-wing government with Ben Gvir and Smotrich, Netanyahu's right-wing government. And I was talking about Ben Gvir, especially, who is a Kahanist. Okay, he had a picture of a Kahane, Meir Kahane, in his living room, and he goes by Meir Kahane ideology. And if you want, we can go to our website so we can review at the end who Meir Kahane was and what was his ideology.
Right.
But you will be shocked that in our own government, there are people installed there who actually go by Meir Kahane ideology.
Right.
And David Sheen is the one who exposed this. So my hats go down to this
And
man.
David Sheen's last name, if you can't see it, is spelled S-H-E-E-N. S-H-E-E-N, David Sheen. He is a Jewish guy.
So let's just, it was at 8, I think, right? Did I mess
I
it
did
up?
not know where you had it at.
Yeah, it was at 8. Hold on. I'm sorry, it was... Oh, here we go. Let's start here. That's Brooklyn. Okay.
To his next in line, to the person with whom he led the Va'ad Rabbanim of Flatbush, and from then on, from the late 1990s into the 2000s, we have every year the Kahana memorial services, now shifting venues to this synagogue just down the street, walking distance, also in that same area of Brooklyn, New York, called the Pnei Etz Chaim Synagogue. Would you believe it? Chuck Schumer found this synagogue so pivotal that he actually brought the American House of Representatives committee to have a meeting at this synagogue. It's the only time in American history that any synagogue, perhaps any house of worship even, but certainly any Jewish house of worship, was hosting a meeting, an official meeting of an American congressional delegation of a House of Representatives committee. Hosted it in this synagogue.
Like Florida
that provided
governor.
a platform year after year after year for Kahanist ideology and Kahanist supporters to preach their hatred. From the bima, from the pulpit, they preached Kahanism every year in, year out.
Okay.
Rabbi Melvin Berg.
Okay, so let's go now. And he mentioned
Chuck Schumer.
Who is Chuck Schumer?
Chuck is he the senator or congressman of Pennsylvania? Or is he, no, I'm sorry, New York.
Yes, New York. So he's in a Senate.
Okay.
So do you see what David Sheen
And by the
is
way,
showing?
let me
These are
clarify
our politicians,
something.
Steve.
It's very, very dangerous, okay? Because Chuck Schumer came out against Netanyahu and what they're doing to Gaza. I commend him for that.
I know, but
right?
do you see?
But that's
they're
what I'm
playing both
saying.
sides.
Yes, it's so
They're playing both
dangerous.
sides.
This is what see. Look, don't kid yourself. The Jewish people understand. They watch what the trends are, and when they see, oh, everybody's against Israel blowing up Gaza and killing the Palestinians, right? And we are, right? Then Chuck Schumer, what do? They raise up a politician to make sure you stay in step with the Zionist movement. and he condemns what Netanyahu's doing. Doesn't want to give him weapons to kill the Palestinians.
But at the same time, he's for Kahani ideology.
Exactly. This is where it's both
This
sides.
is why I'm bringing it up, because of a shock I had. You know, the thing, what I'm telling you, is the same thing in a medical freedom movement.
Yes. Oh my God.
Both sides.
So infiltrated.
And we have found it out the
Great-
hardest way, like my
Great
father
people
died.
in that movement, but so corrupt.
There are very
at the
few
same
good
time.
people there, but it's so
We
corrupted.
can't say
and
much
there's,
here
we will
because
do.
we're on
we will
YouTube,
do.
but we will.
Okay, so who is Kahani when we go to our Israeli news?
You can just hit enter. You're already there.
Am I?
Yep, just hit enter.
Okay.
Awesome interview with Dave Hodges, by the way.
By the way, open letter to the 5 docs. Please don't forget, all of you, read it, share it.
Definitely share it everywhere
And
you
comment
can.
on there. That way you will help me, because I need to expose even more things around it. I mean, there's major murder that happened in my family.
We've got a short video coming up that's going to be very powerful, evidence-driven. And
Yes.
I think you'll find it interesting, more like a documentary style.
Which I want to thank those who are in moral support of us. And it's just enormous amount of enemies. But, you know, something like this truly happened in my family. And my father is the victim. He is the innocent elderly victim.
Yes.
But what I want to show you is I wrote about this Kahani movement, so let's go ahead and Ben Gvir and who Kahani was, so you guys know. Here we go. Fact sheet Mir Kahani, extremist Kahanist movement, and this is in our government.
Right.
So
and always remember, these things that are highlighted on the website are hyperlinks. So even like in the 5 docs, click on those highlighted items.
fact sheet Mir Kahani, born Martin Kahani, Brooklyn, 1932, Orthodox rabbi who espoused virulently racist ideology, founding a violent Jewish extremist movement and fascist political party in Israel. Remember Ben Gvir?
Yes.
Netanyahu's government is Kahani. We have it in our own government, and we just
Kahanist
proved it.
organization.
Okay, and it's tied to Chabad, their Chabad organization. And now we have Trump going to grave of Schneerson, right? So do you see how it all comes together, that you can see all this dirt and filth that's happening? So Kahani followers have murdered dozens of people, injured hundreds of others in numerous violent attacks against Palestinians, Americans, against others in Israel, and so on. It's all on our website. You can click on this. And what is Kahani ideology? Let's just review it here, just a little bit of it. And there is more section below, as you will read. Non-Jews will be obligated to assume duties, taxes, and slavery. If he does not agree to slavery and taxes, he will be forcibly deported. Now, that was for Israel. And they're putting it in works right now as we speak. A non-Jew will not live within the jurisdiction of the city of Jerusalem. A non-Jew who has a marital relationship with a Jew is liable to 50 years in prison. A Jewish prostitute or a Jewish male who has an affair with a non-Jewish male is sentenced to 5 years in prison.
And by the way, this one right there about the marriage, I won't call his name, but he's a very good friend of ours in Israel. He experienced this very issue. And we were there waiting for him. If he needed the help, we would go public with it for him. He asked me not to, but he shared with me openly over and over and over what was happening. His wife was deported and she was gone for more than a year. He had to fight because why? He's Jewish. Even though he is a believer in the Messiah, Yeshua, he's still Jewish.
No, he's Israeli.
And he's Israeli, right? But they come to him. Your wife, I'm sorry, she's not Jewish. Boom, out of the country, she was deported.
Well, lots of Christians don't know that in a state of Israel, if you're Israeli citizen, it is prohibited for you to marry a non-Jew, and if you do, your marriage is not considered legal. Did you know that? So this is the type of democracy that Christian evangelicals support, Christian Zionists support. So sometimes it's good to learn about what you support rather than go to church, listen to pastors say few phrases. Your brain remembers those few phrases and you think you got such truth and you keep blobbing out those phrases without thinking. Just like, bless those who bless you, curse those who curses you, you know, and without looking at the context and understanding what are you saying, you know. So anyway, more of Kahani ideology. That's just an example. There is a lot more. Separation at beaches. Separate beaches will be established for Jews and non-Jews. Well, first I thought it will be men and women, which is a Jewish custom. No, this is a two-tier system. When you are a non-Jew, you're an animal, according to Chabad Kahani ideology. And two beaches, one for Jews and one for non-Jews. Why? Because the Schneerson that Trump is praying to, okay, said that non-Jews are animals and they were created in a human form only to serve the Jews, so the Jew doesn't have to look at animal when it's serving him. So the non-Jews look human for that only reason, to serve the Jews, and so the Jews can look at another human and not an animal. I mean, it's just beyond understanding how racist and hateful this ideology is and how they're covering it up, and it's in our government. So what are they preparing for future? Christians need to learn, educate themselves. We get in a lot of trouble by speaking the truth. I get in a lot of trouble, certainly. But it's just what I have to do, because I can't, I'm not going to lie. So here's your research. Look into it deeper. Follow Mr. Sheen on Twitter. Follow him on YouTube. And watch every single video he did, because the research this man has done is uncomparable to any other. And
Yes.
Anyway, so that's my message today,
All right.
Steve.
And just for a reminder, David Sheens, who Jana's talking about right here, you can subscribe to him here on YouTube.
It's ridiculous.
And I'm going to make sure I'm subscribed on this channel as well. We have more than one channel. But
I am
David
definitely
Sheen,
subscribed.
definitely check out David's work. And we do ask, please, thank you for supporting the work here at Israeli News Live. We encourage you.
One more thing I prepared, so I wanna, and we are done. Hold on. Here. This was, and again, it's by David Sheen. See, he's so valuable for research. This is a long time ago, 2011. This Rabbi Israel Ariel, okay, gives this, Chabadnik, by the way, he gives this speech. And you can see that they've been preparing Greater Israel since 1948, Steve. That slaughter of all of these non-Jews has been all systematically prepared, very carefully prepared, pre-planned. So what's going on today is not that Hamas have by chance, out of blue, attacked Israel, and now they have to defend themselves. It has nothing to do with this.
This has been all prepared.
Yes, Hamas was very important to Israel. Israel needed Hamas because they want to do cleansing of this area so they can take over, because this is what their ideology is. And let's listen to him and we can end with that. And you can read this.
Of course, we have this beautiful homegrown group, and it's only natural. Baruch Marzel Itmar Ben Gvir.
No, stop it. Ben Gvir? Back in
Lower the
2011,
volume down to it's still too high.
Steve, back in 2011, he says they have a prepared group, Ben Gvir. So he was groomed. He waited for the time such as now to be installed in a Knesset as a right-wing member of Netanyahu's coalition so they can go and do their plan, their religious plan.
We hope this group will advance the idea to bring the truth respectfully to all Jews. Our ancestors believed, and we believe, that the Jewish people, the correct Jews, with that Jewish idea, they will take power in Israel. May we merit to soon see greater Israel saved. May we merit to see the big and wide land from the Nile Euphrates in our hands. Return to Sinai. Return to the east bank of the Jordan. Reach Syria. It's all ours, from the Nile to the Euphrates. Now, if you'll notice, he talked about bring these other Jews into line. That 20,000 there in New York that are against what they're doing.
What are they going to do to them? Kill them? I mean, they're beating them with batons.
It all depends when it comes down to it. We'll have to see what it's going to go. Did you want to play more of what he says here?
I'm not sure if he mentions Kahani or not. It's only minute 54. I don't know.
Okay, we'll continue then. All kinds of revolutions we hear about. All kinds of groups in Sinai. And you can say the Egyptians are in a civil war. When they created wars in Syria and Lebanon, they created. They're slaughtering each other. All this is happening so that we will reach those places.
So we will
but
reach.
we are sitting here. We need to go out and fulfill the pact and the line.
Here we
And
go.
we did that, Rabbi Kahani, 30 years ago.
Here we go.
Okay? And by the way,
Kahani.
this thing about having them all kill each other, that's what Mizrahi said. He said, when Iran is shooting missiles at us, we should take one of our missiles, hit the dome of the rock, and say Iran did it, so that they will all hate Iran and then they'll all kill each other.
See that? I mean, they are telling you, all you got to do is research, look, open your eyes, open your mind,
Yeah.
put on Christ, let him anoint you with Holy Spirit, and you can see very clearly what they're planning and how they're lying and deceiving.
Newspapers, adverts of maps of land of Israel, probably advertise is what it was saying.
No, that's what he's saying.
From the Nile to the Euphrates. From there we'll get the temple and all build it soon in our lifetimes. Amen. So stay strong.
So this is what it is, and he's from Chabad, and it's Lubavitcher Rebbe that started this. Noahide was for Gentiles, takes the whole greater Israel and land grab, and they are interpreting prophecies wrong, so Christians can get all, on agenda with them in the name of God. And Christians are like little sheep who just follow without checking, without critical thinking, without understanding, without rechecking, without looking at their own scriptures, without understanding what it means to be Christian. And then in the name of God, they support all of these killings.
Yeah. By the way, EMP Shield. We have finally been allowed to load that little documentary that we put together, inside look at their facility. It's about 26 minutes long. You really will understand EMP Shield now and just how valuable it is. It does protect against solar flares as well.
Yes.
Or solar blast, whatever you want to call it.
Why did we do this? Why did we go through trouble of traveling to Kansas and going to their facility? And I wanted to see with my own two eyes, because we are not here to sell you stuff, but anything we do offer you, like EMP Shield or LifeWave, is because we checked it out ourselves.
And we believe in it.
That we believe in it, we checked it, and we actually traveled there out of our own initiative. So
you will see, from the very beginning, and I really want to thank Brother Matthew for putting this together. He's the one that brought us into to LifeWave, sharing it with others as well. Mr. Keegan, the president and CEO of the company, did an awesome job. Rowdy, He's the vice president. He's not in this video here, but Roddy, you've seen him on other interviews we've done. Amazing information. And then, of course, Mr. How do you say his name?
Oh no, I forgot. He's from Bulgaria. He's
the scientist.
Yes.
And
such a smart guy.
Is it Dove or?
I'm so sorry.
I forget it exactly.
So many names lately, you know, with the Lifeway
he's
and
just
everything.
an amazing guy. He really gives some beautiful science in here. At the time, they were working on making it to where it would protect against the solar blasts that come off the sun. I don't know to call it by the right name, but they now do. They actually now do. They did conquer that technology, so they're doing that. The lightning strikes everything, and with the type of storms we're having, you definitely want to consider one for your home. And they go into the whole idea too. We got
and
into
it was
the manufacturing,
so nice to
everything.
See how it's all made
in America.
Yes, and what I love about it, it's not made in China. It's made here, so we support our own economy. And the main scientist, he's such a funny person too.
Yeah. He's the one that closes out the interview as well. Just really interesting.
Can you play a little bit of it?
Let's play that. We'll play the little closing part here.
Team with our colleagues nationwide, we are trying our best to provide the nation with a better sleep.
Yes. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Dornoff. It was a pleasure. Thank you. That's what I wanted his name.
Thank you.
Dr. Dornoff.
Yes, Dr. Dornoff. So, and just remember, just use the EMP or use the coupon code INL50. And as far as I still know, every time you purchase a product, if you order 5, you're going to get it off of all 5 of them, $50 off, not just one time. So the company does amazing on that. And of course, you can get to LifeWave just by our website. And 2, we are now seeing, not only are we seeing amazing testimonies of people that are just having just unbelievable testimonies, but what I do want to say to you, though, is those of you that are really motivated, business-minded type of individuals, the company now has it to where you can also, especially, we didn't know anything about, direct sales, things like that, but there are a lot of you out there that may do this already. This company is ranked #1 in the world. And we're seeing it with friends that are actually doing it as a business.
Yeah, we have a lot of people that come
just booming with this.
Yes, they joined with us, and now they're making income. So these are like real people. We didn't even expect it.
Yeah.
And they're so happy because they feel better, but they're actually making income. So
one sister did over $1,000. I won't call her name. She did over $1,000, and she's not been in very long.
It's just
right.
It is an opportunity that can be. It's very legal. It's amazing.
And the exciting thing is, you literally will see lives transform like you wouldn't believe. 96% of everybody that uses it has a success. And then I found out recently. I lowered that patch just about a ½ an inch back below C7 on my spine. What an amazing difference it did.
It was Brother Ron that.
We
have Brother Ron, who is a doctor of naturopathic medicine with us. So.
We have, I think, 4 doctors now that are using it, and not every. Some of the doctors, they only promote it for their patients. They're not into the direct sales. They're just
just get back with us if you want to explore this opportunity.
BenoonX39@gmail.com. You could write us. We'll help you. We'll walk you through it. Give us a day or 2 sometimes. We get so crazy busy to respond back to you, but we'd love to be able to help you. Or if you want to just go in on your own and join, you're welcome to do so. They only have 4 levels now. I recommend, honestly, if you're going to do it, go to the advanced enrollment.
Okay, so let's end this.
All right. Anyway, so thank you guys for listening, and sorry about the pep talk, but I just really feel strongly about these things. I really do, especially EMP Shield as well.
Yes.
Very, very important item to have. thank you. God bless y'all for watching and listening. This will also be on iConnect because these are videos that are going to be at risk. So we are recording. We are going to be posting both places, plus probably over on Rumble and what was the other?
Odyssey. I will
Israeli
have
News
Ethan
Live.
to upload this